Okay, continue our example. We're going to look into the project appraisal using internal rate of return. And uh, assuming you already lay out the cash flow, what you need to do to find out the internal rate of return is just to set the net present value become 0. So this is the formula. Assuming we don't know the rates, for example, we put this back into something like 0, and we use this net present value formula like we did in the last example. But the key thing is now we take this internal rate returns as a discount rate, and we want to say how, when by changing this number, for example, we say we make it 15 to make this net present value become 0. If we put 17, it will be a negative number, so we know it's between 15 and 17. If we put 16, it's still a positive number, and if we put 16.5, it's a negative number, so it's getting closer and closer. We know the correct answer is this one. And rather than we keep trying it, we can use the machine to do it. And there's a place called GoSeek. What it does is just iterating, changing this value, and the target is to set this value to 0 by changing this cell. It's similar to a solver function, but it's a simpler version because you can't do constraint and things like that. If you click OK, it will give you the answer. So that is the idea of internal rate return in itself. But in Excel, if you want to use, you understand the idea behind internal rate return by looking at this. Then when in the real life, when you use it, what you need to do is just use the formula called internal rate of return. And this time Microsoft get it correct because they actually you have to include a negative number initial investment, otherwise you will never able to calculate internal rate return only with the positive cash flow, because it will be infinitive. So this time you have to including the initial negative investment, and that give you the internal rate of returns. And what in the assignment normally we also ask you to like visually demonstrate the changing of discount rate and the changing of net present value. As I said, this is very important for the managers to decision maker to look at what type of cost of capital will affect the project return. So for example, if we say now our current cost is 10%, but what if suddenly the situation changed, we need to pay more? Will this project still worth doing? And the answer it is yes. So what we need to do is lay out a different level. So we use a formula, net present value formula, and with this changing rate, and once we did both of this, we can just copy and paste. With two steps, then you can copy and paste everything up to if you wish. Then you can select both of these two, then insert a chart. Normally a line chart will be very useful here, and in this situation the Microsoft actually recently they changed it, because normally they will take this number as the x-axis, but because it is number, they think it's also another value. So let's delete this, and we're just changing the axis to make it more sensible. Okay, yes. So that tells us when it's 16. You can see that actually it's not in line properly. Then if you format the axis, make sure it actually position on ticker, then we can see 16 something, it becomes 0. So this is the idea.